Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Illuminati. The man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' Illuminati on Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. A man who was suspected of murdering a woman at a Soho hotel was captured in Arizona after allegedly participating in a series of assaults on women there.
A 38-year-old victim in the Soho murder bludgeoned to death earlier this month. New York cops say the killer left the crime scene wearing her leggings.
Tonight, they say that man is 26-year-old Rod Al-Mansouri. He is currently being held in Arizona, accused of stabbing two women there. And investigators say he was also involved in attacks on women in Florida and possibly Texas.
Lots of new information about this story tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu live in Lower Manhattan with our lead story. Janice.
Hi there. Authorities say Rod Al-Mansouri, that suspect, has attacked two women and has been tied to a murder, all within a span of a week and a half, spanning two different states. But authorities believe tonight that there are more victims out there.
Anywhere that he's visited, there's potential that there are other victims around the country.
An urgent appeal from the NYPD to communities and law enforcement all around the country to take a close look at Rod Al-Mansouri, a man now connected to a murder in Soho and attacks on women in two different states.
We're asking for this help to see if there are any, other cases that may match this MO.
26-year-old Rod Al-Mansouri now being held in Phoenix without bond for allegedly stabbing two women and attempting to steal one of their cars. He was arrested after police in Arizona spotted the stolen car he was driving.
He informs them that he is wanted for homicide in New York City and tells the cops that they should Google Soho 54 Hotel.
It was inside room 1109. 38-year-old Denise Oleas Arancibia was found under a blanket with injuries to her head and body. Parts of an iron were embedded in her skull. Police say this is Al-Mansouri wearing her leggings after ditching his blood-covered jeans inside the hotel room. Investigators believe Oleas Arancibia was a sex worker.
It seems there was a dispute over the time he was allowed to stay in the room, and that's what caused the outburst, which caused the attack.
He's currently out on bail for allegedly kidnapping and sexually assaulting another sex worker in Florida in April of last year. Well, we've learned from our sister station in Phoenix that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office wants to try its cases first. So as of right now, extradition is off the table, at least for the time being. Now, if you know someone or if you yourself has had encounters with Al-Mansouri, or if you're a law enforcement department that has seen cases similar to these, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. Live in Lower Manhattan, Janice Yu, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now, according to reports, 26-year-old Rod Al-Mansouri allegedly got into an argument with 38-year-old alleged sex worker Denise Oleas Arancibia at the Soho 54 Hotel in Manhattan. And as they got into an argument about how much time he could spend in the hotel room that Denise Oleas Arancibia was working in, Rod Al-Mansouri allegedly took an iron that was in the hotel and allegedly bludgeoned her to death. And after bludgeoning her to death, he had so much blood on his pants that he allegedly wound up taking her leggings and wearing them out of the hotel after participating in that alleged murder. And after participating in that alleged murder, Rod Al-Mansouri left New York City. However, he left a paper trail with his credit cards as he went to Arizona. And as he went to Arizona, he continued to go on in a spree of violence against women, allegedly stabbing one woman at a McDonald's and allegedly stabbing a second female worker at a McDonald's in a bathroom before he was eventually arrested and captured. And after being arrested and captured, the Arizona prosecutor decided to decline to allow New York to extradite Rod Ullman Sorry for the alleged murder of Denise alias Arancibia, because they feared that New York prosecutor Alvin Bragg would allow Rod Ullman Sorry out on bail or no bail at all, based on the way he basically allowed migrants who attacked police officers to go out of the criminal justice system here in New York and be able to leave the city and continue on going wherever they went. The prosecutor in Arizona feared that Rod Ullman Sorry, who clearly showed behavior that was considered him a clear and present danger, would be allowed to return to the streets again to participate in more criminal behavior like he has been alleged to have participated in New York and Arizona, and is also alleged to have been participating in places like Texas and Florida. Now, the police in New York and Arizona believe that Rod Ullman Sorry's behavior are isolated incidents, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior that Rod Ullman Sorry has been alleged to have participated in and confessed to as related to the death of Denise alias Arancibia, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me, based on what has been presented as related to the allegations against Rod Ullman Sorry, he definitely fits the pattern and profile of a sexual deviant that I talk about in the chapter of The Man Crisis called The Sexual Deviancy of the Beta Male. And it's clear to me that he is definitely escalating his behavior as related to violence against women, which is a pattern that sexual deviants participate in. Now, when it comes to these sexual deviants, many of these sexual deviants are looking to get power over women because they feel like they can't take the power that they want as a man. Now, when it comes to these kinds of beta males, many of these beta males feel powerless about their life in the real world, and because they feel powerless about their life in the real world, what they do is enter a place I like to call the secret world. Now, in that secret world, this beta male can feel comfortable about expressing what they believe to be their natural masculinity and natural sexuality that they believe that they need to repress. And I believe in the case of Rod Ullman Sorry, it might possibly be religion that makes him believe that he needs to repress his natural masculinity and natural sexuality, and he believes the only place he can feel safe about expressing that behavior is in the secret world, and he believes the only way he can express that behavior in the secret world is by participating in deviant sexual acts in the secret world with prostitutes and sex workers. And that basically is what possibly made him feel disconnected and detached from people, because when it comes to a lot of beta males, when it comes to their expression of sexuality, because they learn how to express their sexuality not in the open with a real person in the real world, what happens is they learn how to express it in the secret world. And as they learn how to express things in the secret world, it doesn't become about becoming connected to a partner the way sex is naturally supposed to be. No, it becomes all about them having the power they want to have as a man. And that's basically what Rod Ullman Sorry possibly wanted as related to his relationships with women, but in the real world. But because he felt like he couldn't have those relationships, he felt a lot of anger towards women. And because he had felt a lot of anger towards women, this is what led to him being possibly motivated to want to participate in violence against women all across the country in places like Florida and Texas before he came to New York. And when he came to New York, he basically was looking to get involved with this sex worker, Denise alias Arancibia, at this hotel, and he was looking to get power as related to things. This is related to the dispute they had over the time he could have in the hotel room, because he felt like this was a place where he was going to be able to have his power, and he didn't want any terms dictated to him by this woman, and because he didn't want any terms dictated to him by this woman, what he did was get upset when this woman told him possibly he couldn't stay in the room long because she possibly, if she was a sex worker, she possibly had other clients. And this basically triggered the anger in him that I believe possibly led to him exploding in the rage, where he allegedly went out and participating in the murder of this 38-year-old mother of two by bludgeoning her with an iron. And after getting that rush of power, what happened with this Rod Al-Mansouri was he realized he basically had messed up badly. And as he realized he had messed up badly, this is where he decided to put on her clothes, because he realized that his clothes would create evidence. However, the video surveillance basically showed him leaving the hotel in her leggings. And as he was shown with that, in wearing her leggings, he basically put more evidence to show that he had possibly committed a crime, and also made further evidence as related to his credit card trail. And after the credit card trail, those urges as related to his need for power escalated as he went into a McDonald's, first assaulting one woman by stabbing her, and then running and going to another McDonald's a few days later and allegedly assaulting that woman, showing me that with Rod Al-Mansouri, he had a real issue with power and women, and really wanted to go out here and try to humiliate and destroy women, and showed me that his behavior was escalating, because when it comes to these kind of beta males, oftentimes their behavior will escalate because they get that rush of power, and as they're getting that rush of power, they go from participating in frequenting prostitutes and sex workers to looking to participate in violence against same sex workers and prostitutes, to further escalating their behavior to the ultimate act of trying to get power to gratify their insecure feelings, and that is participating in the serial murder of women. And all of this is due to these men wanting to have that power as a man. And because these males want to have power that they feel that they can't have as men in the real world, they go to the secret world and look to inflict violence against women. And they look to inflict that violence against women because they feel powerless in the presence of women, whether it be about the opportunity to get the opportunity to participate in a relationship with a woman, the opportunity to gain sexual access to women, or the opportunity to be allowed to be the head of a relationship with a woman. A lot of times these guys wind up on this road to this kind of sexual predation and sexual violence because they have serious issues with women. And it is those serious issues with women that lead to these men becoming a clear and present danger as men in crisis. And that is the one thing that makes this guy, Rod Al-Mansouri, possibly a clear and present danger, because he's already admitted and confessed, according to some sources, of murdering this 38-year-old sex worker. And that's what made the Arizona prosecutor's office basically want to take constructive action to try to save more lives. Now, after seeing the actions of Alvin Bragg as related to illegal migrants who entered the country illegally being released without bail, the Arizona prosecutor's office did the right thing by saying that they would not extradite Rod Al-Mansouri for the murder of Denise alias Arancibia, because they did not trust the prosecutor's office to do what was in the best interest of public safety. Because when it comes to these kinds of males, you can't be soft on crime based on my years of research, and you can't be soft on crime because when it comes to these kinds of individuals, they have a pattern and profile for their behavior, and if you are soft on crime as related to them, it's guaranteed that these kinds of individuals will continue to participate in committing their crimes, and even worse, what they will do is escalate their behavior into further crimes. And that's the whole scary part about an individual like Rod Al-Mansouri, who again is alleged to have participated in the murder of this 38-year-old sex worker and mother of two, is that this would not just be their first murder. No, this would lead to a series of murders. And that would put other people's lives in jeopardy, and that is the clear and present danger that the Arizona prosecutor's office wanted to try to protect the public from and try to protect the public trust from, because this individual, again, by their behavior and pattern of behavior that was alleged to have been participated in Florida, Texas, New York, and Arizona, was showing how dangerous this individual was. However, New York prosecutor Alvin Bragg doesn't understand how this whole situation is a dangerous one for New Yorkers, because you just cannot go out here and give this kind of guy a low bail. No, this person has to be remanded into custody until trial. And if this guy does go to trial as related to the possible confession, he definitely would wind up in New York's penal system for the rest of his life. And he would have to deal with the whole power dynamics of not only the corrections officers in Arizona or New York or Texas or Florida, where he is going to possibly spend the rest of his life in prison. He would also have to deal with the social hierarchy of Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles inside of the penitentiary. And when they hear that he is one of these guys who likes to go out here and participate in violence against women in order to gratify his need for power, they are going to show him the power dynamics of the penitentiary as they break him down and trade him for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, cherry flavor aid, fruit punch Kool-Aid, pretzel rods, snack pack puddings, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand lemon cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand vanilla wafers, peppermint balls, hot sauce, soy sauce packets. I mean, he's going to be traded for the full commissary as they basically roast him from front side to back side, turning his tight end into a wide receiver. And after they turn the tight end into a wide receiver, stuffing him like a Thanksgiving turkey, Mr. Sprinkles is going to spray the special sauce all over his face and his front side and his back side, basically going out here and showing him who the men are in the penitentiary. And that is going to show him how the power dynamics work inside of the penitentiary. And that is the fate that will fall this individual who basically thought he was going to get power by going out here and participating in serial violence against women. And he only wanted to participate in that serial violence against women because he was a dysfunctional male, was possibly raised in a dysfunctional fashion that basically turned him from being a man to winding up becoming a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to males like this participating in this kind of deviant and criminal behavior and what leads to them winding up on this dysfunctional road that leads to them winding up on a road to prison, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashware's The iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about men in crisis, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.